Welcome to Sky High Coaching Conversations. I'm Janelle Ryan, global personal coach and author of Become Extraordinary, joining you from the coastline of Australia. This podcast is raw and unedited, just like life. I work with high-performing professionals, entrepreneurs, and elite athletes who are ready to expand their minds into new ways of thinking, create what once felt impossible, and lead themselves and others with confidence. If you're a self-led human who loves growth, truth, intuition, and a lot of laughs, you're in the right place. I'm so happy you're here. Let's dive in.
Hello, I'm Janelle Ryan. Let's dive in. So last week, I told you that this week I would explain why my bossy, boisterous, cheeky, very cheeky, border collie Ziggy suddenly turns into a hesitant, cautious gentleman when we approach the neighbour's enormous female cat. So I invite you to picture this. We're on our usual walk. Ziggy is trotting confidently along, ears up, tail high, convinced the world is largely here for his enjoyment. He's also appointed himself the boss of the village we live in and feels it's his duty to chase away any other dogs he feels may not be in the space. So, he's ready for those dogs to appear as well. He's just wandering along, feeling pretty good about himself until we round the corner. And on the footpath, directly in his path, sunning herself like she owns the postcode, is the neighbour's cat. She does not hiss, she does not arch, she doesn't move, she barely opens one eye. And my loud, bossy, incredibly smart, ocean wave charging border collie slows. He hesitates, assesses the situation, cowers slightly, then leads me on a very wide berth around her, the exact opposite of the path he would have taken had she not been there. She has not said a word. And this is the point. Animals don't rely on language the way we do. They communicate through posture, stillness, attention, and energy. And when I say energy in this context, I'm not talking about crystals and incense, although they're great. I'm talking about nervous system regulation expressed in real time. Ziggy is reading her stillness, lack of flinch, and lack of appeasement. But let's get back to language. If I tell Ziggy to stop doing something he should absolutely not be doing, in a soft, delighted voice, he thinks I'm praising him. If I yell at him while he's barking, he thinks I've joined in. He thinks I'm barking too. So he keeps doing it. Have you ever watched a professional dog trainer? So you may have a dog yourself, you've worked with a trainer, or maybe you've watched one of those TV shows like Dogs Behaving Badly. If you think about a professional dog trainer, the calm ones, the ones who barely raise their voice, they don't use many words. They use tone, positioning, eye line, stillness, attention. And the dogs respond because the dog is reading something deeper than language. Now, I'm going to take a moment here. Before we all start debating whale songs and dolphin clicks, yes, animals communicate in complex ways, but they are not negotiating budgets or setting relationship agreements with sentences. Language is uniquely human. Communication isn't. And we forget this. We forget our dogs are animals, and we forget we are too. So last week, we opened a conversation about freezing, the moment you know exactly what you want to say, but nothing comes out. And it's usually in the moments that really matter. And afterwards you replay it thinking, why didn't I just say it? Well, today we're continuing that conversation. We're going a little deeper because freezing is not just about lacking courage or confidence. It's about energy. It's about attention. It's about invisible power dynamics that are always operating, whether we acknowledge them or not. You can deny power dynamics exist, but they do. And they are how humans and animals organise themselves. Now, before I continue, I'd like to take a quick moment and invite you, if today's conversation is resonating with you, to download my complimentary blueprint, The Unshakable Woman. Inside this free blueprint, you'll learn how to stop proving yourself and start feeling genuinely confident, calm, and in control again. Inside, you'll find more than 10 short, powerful tools you can use right away, even between meetings, in the car, or before bed. These aren't theories. They're quick, easy, proven practices designed to shift you from pressure to presence in real time. We'll pop the link in the show notes for you. It is my gift to you. Now, back to today's conversation. In every interaction, conversation, collaboration, there is direction. Someone is always directing the conversation while observing the other person to ensure they're engaged, they understand, or they're entertained. Depends what kind of conversation you're having. The other is receiving, and their attention is predominantly in. They're receiving, they're analysing the words, they're considering what they think about what they're hearing, what they feel about the message. They're deciding how they will respond when it's their turn to speak. Now, in great conversations, this flows back and forth effortlessly. It's like a dance. It's subtle, it's fun, and it's invisible. But when it's not a great conversation, when someone is being aggressive or inappropriate, or they've sprung something on you that you didn't expect and you freeze, the flow stops. Your attention collapses inward in the wrong way and you lose your voice, or outward in the wrong way and you become a threat detector. Is this situation safe for me right now? Right? That's not a weakness, that's survival. But survival mode does not create influence. So let's define something clearly. There are two orientations happening in every interaction: directing and receiving. Directing is when your attention is outward in action. You are proposing, naming, setting the frame, asking for something, moving the interaction somewhere. Receiving is when your attention is inward in awareness. You're sensing, feeling, tracking what's true for you. Both are necessary. Most women, in my experience, from countless of conversations with women and my own experience, were exquisitely trained to receive, but outwardly to sense other people's moods, to track their comfort levels, to anticipate their needs, to adjust, to smooth over. We've become brilliant at reading the room, but we were not equally trained to receive ourselves, to pause long enough to ask, what do I want here? What matters to me? What feels right? And without that inward reception, there's nothing stable to direct from. And here's the second imbalance. Most women have very little practice directing attention, not dominating, not overpowering, directing, holding eye contact and calmly saying, that doesn't work for me, or proposing the salary, or naming the boundary, or articulating the desire. When Ziggy approaches that cat, his attention orients around her certainty. She's not scanning him. She's not asking. She's self-contained. Her attention is stable. And that stability creates the dynamic. She's not going anywhere, right? In human interactions, when your attention is anchored in your own desire, people feel it. When your attention is scanning them for approval, they feel that too. And here is where this becomes very practical. You cannot talk over what you are energetically communicating. You cannot override it with clever words. You cannot fake it with body language tricks, because nervous systems are reading nervous systems. So what do? We train attention. And here is your tangible practice for this week, if you choose to accept it. In your next conversation, at work, at home, anywhere, notice where your attention sits. Are you scanning the other person for approval? Are you monitoring how you're being perceived? Are you waiting for permission? Or have you paused long enough to receive yourself, to feel what you want, to decide what you are proposing? Before you speak, bring your attention inward for 3 seconds. Ask yourself, what do I want here? Then when you speak, keep a portion of your attention anchored in that answer. Not aggressively, not forcefully, just steadily. This is directing, and it can be learned. Power is not confidence. You can feel confident and still stay silent. Power is not volume. It's not control. It's not dominance. It is the ability to stay present, know what you want, and shape agreements accordingly. If you want to expand, create, and lead further in your life, your workplace, your business, you must be able to do both. Receive yourself deeply enough to know what you want, direct clearly enough to bring it to life. And if you recognize yourself in this, if you see the freeze, the scanning, the shrinking of influence, this is exactly the work we practice inside my brand new live, not recorded, live coaching program, the Soft Strength Salon. Not theoretically, in real conversations, in real life, real workplaces, real businesses, real relationships, in real time. We build the capacity to direct and receive consciously. The Soft Strength Salon is where high-performing women stop scanning for approval and start directing from certainty. Ziggy avoids that cat because her presence is self-contained. You don't need to dominate a room. You need to anchor yourself within it. And that, my beautiful friend, is something you can build. Your voice isn't missing, it's just unanchored. Because quiet women do not lack power, they lack reliable access to it. Thank you for being here with me today. Until next week, keep expanding, leading, and creating, and I hope you will join me again when I hit the airwaves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you for being here for another Sky High coaching conversation. If today expanded something in you, trust it and allow it to lead you to your next step. Take what landed, leave what didn't, and keep creating the life and vocation that feels unmistakably yours. Until next time, keep expanding, keep creating, and keep leading with clarity, courage, and a little magic.